It is.
Okay, now let's get started, and I will share my screen, and first on my screen would be what we are doing today. Okay, all right. We will be doing let's see if I have it. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, but I can just tell you what we're doing. Stop this share. Okay, so what we're covering today is one thing I forgot last time. I didn't tell you about calculating the midpoint on a number line. So that's what we'll do first. Then we'll go over our rounding, PEMDAS, and basic operations homework. And then we will look at factors and multiples and least common multiple and great common factor and prime factorization and what does commutative and distributive properties look like. Okay, so let's get started. I want to share my screen. Let me first just do the
So Mercedes on.
yes,
Yes.
Mercedes is on. Okay, do
Hi,
you
Maureen.
see
Hi,
my
Mercedes.
screen? Did you see my screen? Maybe I may not have put share. Let's see.
No, not yet.
Okay, let me put share screen and then put what I'm sharing. Okay. Now, do you see it? Midpoint of a line segment.
No.
Maureen, do you see it?
No.
Okay, let me go back here.
No, it's not up, Miss Barbara.
Okay, let me share screen.
Mhm.
Do you see it now?
No.
I don't know why. I did a share. Okay. Let me go back up here. Share screen. And you don't see midpoint of a line segment.
No, nothing at all. It's you. We are seeing just
Could
you.
only see you.
No, Barbara, it's just you.
Okay, let me just take this out and do. I don't know why it's not working. Okay. Share screen. I said share screen and I put in what I'm sharing and you don't see this.
Uh-uh.
Let's see if I can do a new share.
Is it open in the back? I mean,
Yeah, it's I can see it you know, when I do the share, but then they don't see it. I'm trying to get, well, share. Okay, new
it's gonna
share.
come up now.
New
Mhm.
share. Now it'll come up.
Well, so we're actually seeing all your files.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We're seeing
I'm taking that out. Now do you see it?
And no.
Midpoint,
midpoint.
midpoint of a line segment,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? Okay. I had to go and do a new share to get it up. Okay. Now, this is something I left out before on the number line, and I want you to be able to do this because this is one of the things required on the GED. Oh, so midpoint means you're halfway between 2 points. That's all it means, halfway between 2 points. Now, for instance, if you were between this notation, this and this one, you would be, say, what, 0. 0 would be between this point and this point. You follow?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Midpoint, halfway between. See, this is a 0.
Yeah.
And this is a 1, and this
Yeah.
is a -1. So 0, if I said what is the midpoint between the -1 and a +1? You would tell me 0. You
Okay,
Zero.
follow, right? Because
Yes.
this is a -1. Notice I didn't put the minus on everything. This is a
Yeah.
-1, -2, -3, and this is a +1, +2, +3. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
if my point X represents a -2, and see the X right there, right?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
-1, -2.
-2.
Now, what's the value of point Y right here? What is that value, Maureen?
3.
3,
3.
that's right. It's right above it. That's a 3. Okay. Now, what we want to find is the midpoint between the X and the Y.
Oh.
Okay. How do you think you'd find it? In other words, what's the midpoint between X that's at a -2 and Y that is a +3? What do you think the midpoint would be? Now, I gave you some choices here. Okay. Here are the choices. Is it between a -2 and a -1? That would be a -2 and a -1. Is it there? Is it between a -1 and a 0? Is it between a 0 and a 1?
In between a 0, in between a, okay.
Or is it between a 1 and a 2? What would you say?
In between the 1 and the 0.
You would say between the 1 and the 0, the 0 and the +1?
Yeah.
Is that what you would say?
Got the thing again. This is a -2 and -1. Okay.
A 1 and a 2, +1 and a +2. What would you say, Mercedes? Remember, I'm saying X. What's the midpoint between X and Y?
Right.
So I would say,
In between 1
I
and
would
2.
say D.
You would say D.
Yes. If I'm seeing it screen right.
You would say between 1 and 2.
Oh. Yes.
I was.
Okay. Why would you say between 1 and 2?
Because you have 2 strokes before 3, and you have 1 before the X on the left. If I describe it right,
You have one.
you have with the 0 and in the middle, you have 2 strokes before you go to number 3. And then on the left, you have 1 before you go to the X. If I'm describing it right.
Now, the way you would find this, you count the spaces between X and Y. So this XY segment is how many spaces?
2.
How many, like,
1 space.
no, how many indentations do you see between X and Y? Well, you have to count them like from one point to the other. Each one of these represents. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But that's how I have to count them?
Yes, because between X and Y, you go from X to -1, -1 to 0, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3. All right. So that means you moved 5 spaces to go from X to Y.
Yes, I understand.
Follow?
Yes,
Yeah.
I understood
All
that.
right. Now, so we said 5. So what's half of 5?
2, 5. Half of 5 is 2, 5.
2.5, right? So
Yes.
if you count 2.5, where would that take you, Mercedes? If I count 2.5 starting from my X, where would that take me? Where would that take me?
it take me between the 0 and I don't know what to call it. This
You're right, 0 and what?
in the middle, right? I don't know what you call it. How would you call it?
No, you told me right. You said it would take you between 0 and then what number?
I won.
A 1, that's right.
Well, yes,
So,
yes.
because this is 1, 2, and 2.5 is between the
Yes.
0 and the 1, right? So
Yes.
that means so between the 0 and the 1, that means it would be C, answer C.
Oh,
You got it?
Yeah.
Let's go back over it. From
Yeah.
X to Y, we moved 5 spaces.
Five
1,
spaces.
2,
3,
3, 4,
4,
5.
5.
So
Yes.
halfway is going to be half of 5, which is 2.5, right?
yeah.
2.5 is 1, 2, and then midway between 0 and 1 would be the 0.5, right? So
Yeah.
that means the answer, it would be found between the two numbers 0 and 1. Any questions? Midpoint.
That's a smart one.
Okay. All right. So that's how you find midpoint. It's the halfway point between 2 points, right? Notice
Yeah.
I put a W here, but that was like you don't need that, right? Now, notice sometimes you'll have problems, you'll have information you don't need, particularly in word problems, right? So you didn't need that because you're only interested in the segment XY. That's X,
Okay.
Y. Okay. All right. Did anyone try the homework?
I do a few
Oh, you did a few.
because
Wonderful. Let's do a new share and
so I was a
go.
little busy with. So I get to therapy like 4 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I try to get it changed to one place that I could do my foot, my knee one day and my hand the next day. I only got 2 days a week. But I got to be, I went to the doctor called me to say this is me to get an X-ray of my hand, and then he can give me
Okay.
an MRI.
Now, do you see rounding, decimal numbers, and PEMDAS practice?
Yeah.
You know, I tried to do them, but I can't remember what I did my answer sheet. I do that at work.
Okay,
remember what
let
you
me
did.
make this bigger and because
the same thing.
and make it bolder, because in Windows 10 they give you a
Mhm.
gray looking, and there've been a lot of complaints about it, and they haven't corrected it. So I don't know why, but anyway, I just make it
Okay,
bigger and make it bold. That way you can see it.
Okay.
Okay, let me make it 2024. Make it really big. Okay. Round 5,763 to the nearest 10. Now, from place value, Maureen, what digit is in the 10 place?
The 7, right?
No. The 10. 1, 10, hundreds, thousand.
Oh, the 6.
That's 6.
Oh,
That's right. Remember, you count units. That's 1, 10, hundreds, thousand. So the 6 is in the tens place, right? So you look at the integer on the right, and that's a 3, right?
Yeah.
And what's the rule, Mercedes? How do you determine whether to round up or drop?
If the number is 5 or more than 5. So
Okay.
3 is less than 5, so you're going to drop 3.
Yeah, so what would to the nearest 10, which answer would be correct?
C. That's what I got.
E. Very good. That's right, because you put the 0 there, okay? Because 3 is less than 5. Maureen, is that what you had?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put here answer is B. Now, if this had been a 5, then it would have been what? 5,770. We would have round up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Excuse me, Barbara.
Yes,
I think someone else joined the session.
Jennifer.
It might be Jennifer.
Is that
She has
Jennifer
her
on the
mic.
iPhone? Is she on mute?
She's on mute.
Jennifer, you on mute.
Hello, yes, it's
Jen-
me.
Hello, Jennifer.
It is
There you
Jennifer.
go.
Hello. I'm a
Welcome.
middle. Hello, how y'all doing? I'm in the
Okay.
middle of walking, so that's why I'm just listening to it.
Oh,
Listen.
okay.
Yeah,
Jennifer,
I
I didn't get your email address, so I could have sent you the practice work.
I'm
the
going to
practice work?
to you, Miss Barbara.
Oh,
okay?
yes, you send me her phone number and email address.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Now, Jennifer, let me tell you that what we're going over, I emailed to everybody, and then we're
Okay.
recording, so I put it on YouTube. And it's
Okay.
under my name, Barbara Day. But once I get your email, I'll send you the information. And
Okay.
the name of it is, Math GED Practice. And then you could go on YouTube, and even though you're working, and you can go through it and hear just what we're going through now. Okay.
Okay.
Now, number 2, round 155 to the nearest 100. Now say these. What place is the 100? 1, 5, or 5?
5. Sorry,
100?
1.
1, that's right. This is what?
One.
Ones, tens, hundreds. So the 1 is the 100th place.
Yes.
So what would be the answer, Mercedes?
The answer would be D.
That's it, D, because the 5 bumps the 1 up the 2, right? So answer. Maureen, is that what you had?
No, I didn't do that one because I already had skipped that because I was writing down numbers. I realized that I said 1, 3.
You said what?
Then I was writing down the answers. I should have write like 1, 2. But I didn't see 2, so I skipped 2 and put 3. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see this 200?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't see
okay.
that 1. Yeah.
Okay. But you know that the 5 means you're going to bump it up, right?
Yeah.
The 5 bumps up the other 5 to 6. 160, 6 greater than 5. So you bump up the 1 by 2. And that would be 100th place, right? 200. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to number 3. I'm going to bring that over here and make it bigger and bold so you can see it. Okay. So this is, I'm going to make this big and bold so you can see it. Okay. I didn't make it bold.
53,000.
Okay.
2891.
No, that's not 53,000. That's a decimal point. 53.2891 to the nearest 100th place, Maureen. What is the 100th place? What integer? What digit represents the hundredths?
2.
100th. This is a 10th, Maureen. 2. What's the 100th? Got to know your place value. What's the 100th?
Yeah.
10th, 100th, 1,000th, 10,000. Okay. 10. Let me just put them in order. 10ths. After decimal point. 10ths, 100ths, not 100, but the TH, right? 100ths. Okay, and what's next, Mercedes?
Then 1,000.
Right, 1,000th, not 1,000. 1,000, and then what's the next? 10,000.
10,000.
1,000th. That's different now from thousand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because thousand would be like this 5 over here. That's 1,000. But the thousand comes after the decimal point. So remember, from right to left is tenths, hundredths, thousandth, 10,000. So we round into the nearest hundredth place. So Maureen, what integer there, or what digit represent the hundredths? What digit represent the hundredth place, Maureen?
The second one, the 8.
The 8. That's right. Very good. That's the hundredth. Now, the number we determine how to round is the number right next to the 8 at the right. That's the 9. That's greater than, that's 5 or greater, right? So that means we bump this up. So what does that become, Maureen?
You mean the 9?
What does the 8 become when we round?
Oh, it becoming 9.
So what's the answer?
8.
A, that's correct, because that's the hundredth place. So answer, Mercedes, did you have that?
Yes, I do.
Answer A. Okay. Number 4, Mercedes, round 13.0112 to the nearest tenth. What's the answer?
A.
That's it.
Yeah.
Round it to the nearest one.
Yeah.
Round it to the nearest one.
Thanks.
How did you get A?
No, C.
I put C.
C, that's right.
C,
Because
C.
right next to the tenths, which is a 0, you have a 1. That's less than.
Yes,
So
yes.
answer is going to be 13.0.
Yeah, there's an error for me, but it's a C. Definitely
That's
C.
right. Definitely C. Okay. All right. Let's go to our next one. Okay, I'm going to bring this over to the next. So I'm on the other side. Okay. Let's make this bigger.
I couldn't figure out this one at all. There,
I bet Mercedes.
there are
I bet
8,000
Mercedes had it. I bet Mercedes did it. Mercedes said, "Did you?" Now this is about, so this is like an estimation, right? Mercedes, what did you get for this one?
D.
D.
Yes, I may be wrong. What is that?
No. D is, it can't be D, because when it says about, you don't have tens place. Now, if you divide, what did you put, Maureen?
I put B for mine.
You put B.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was guessing. I don't know.
You just guess, right?
That's right. I can figure out.
Well, the way you figure this out now, let me give you you take the 8,336, right?
Right.
Yeah. I divide it by
and divide it by 2. And what do you get?
Yeah.
4168.00.
Okay, let's see. I had figured it out. I was looking with the paper, but I'll do it on my calculator. 8,336. Okay, let me clear this. 8,336.
Oh, she's right.
Divided by 2.
I didn't know.
Okay, 8,336 divided by 2. And you get what?
4160. Sorry, 4168.
4168. Right. Okay. So you took 8,336 divided by 2, and I get 4,168.
Yes. Yes, I had to round off.
Okay, 4,168. Now, about mean you are estimating, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let me make that bigger.
I got the answer now.
You got it? Okay. Maureen, you have the answer?
She gave you the answer.
What?
B.
Yeah, but she said she guessed. I wanted to know if she figured it out. The
I
answer
figured it out.
is B. Yes,
Yeah.
because when you divide it and then you round
Yes.
the nearest hundred,
Yes.
you get a 2, right?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so let's make this
I just guess it.
bigger.
Cause I was,
No,
cause
no, I
after
want
I
you to
divided,
use the rules to get it. So when you round this, the 8, this becomes a 7, and the 7 makes this one a 2. So now you put the zeros and it's 4,200, or answer B. Maureen, you got it? You said this was giving you trouble.
yeah, but I get 4.200, but I just, after I divide it, I can't do it in my head, cause I can find my calculator. I do
Well,
it like, like ordinary. Yeah.
okay. Now, whenever you see about, that's an estimation, because a
Okay.
lot of time you estimate, right? When you go shopping, you estimate if you have enough money to purchase something, right?
Yes.
And so you're doing rounding all the time. You don't think of it as rounding, but you are, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the answer is B, just rounding without rules, 4,168, which is half of 8,336, rounds up to 4,200. Now, how many did number 6?
Oh, I couldn't
I
figure that
didn't
one.
do that, period.
I couldn't. I have to leave it. I tried.
Maureen, you're going to be so surprised when you see the answer. Okay, let me make it bigger.
Well, I was saying, I don't know. The support is the difference between the number of cars in group D and the number of cars in group A.
Okay,
I know a group
so
A has 79, no, 0.59. Oh, I see. Number of cars in millions.
so how many in D?
0.79.
Right, D has, okay, I'm down on below here. Okay, so D has what? D has 0.79,
0.79.
right?
Mhm.
Decimal point. But now notice when we go up here, this says number of cars in millions.
Millions, yeah.
So 0.79 would represent what, Mercedes, in millions?
D in the bottom.
Yeah, what would that be in millions? That says 0.79 million. So if I translate the decimal to a value, what do I get?
8.
No.
You would get like 79 million?
No, I can't
No.
get something bigger. 0.79 times a million is 790,000. Okay,
Well,
make this bigger.
17 million.
Okay,
So
so 70.79, and what you do is, and since that said million, 0.79 times a million, which is 1,000, comma, 000, and that's equal
it's 3
to
zeros.
790,000. That's D,
Zero,
right?
zero, zero.
Now, what about, we're comparing that with A? A has 0.59, right? So let me just copy this over, and this is A.
7.
Okay, so A has 0.59. What does that translate to, Mercedes? This is 5. What's 0.59 times a million?
7.
So what would this be?
7. 7 million.
No, what's 0.59? No, 0.79 times a
59.
million. What would it be,
Oh, oh, oh,
Maureen?
You said 59.
59 million.
590,000,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Now,
Yeah.
the question asks you, what is the difference? That's the subtraction. Let me draw a line here and subtract. What's 790 million minus 590 million? I'm sorry, 790,000 minus 590,000 gives you what? This is a subtraction.
It's
What's
like
790,000, Maureen,
190.
minus 590,000? What's 790 minus 590?
somebody's talking.
Somebody need to go to mute because you got conversation in the background. Jennifer, is that you? Jennifer?
No, that's
like
not me. Mine's is on mute.
Okay.
Nope, not me.
Oh,
You're not on mute. You're on mute now.
Yeah,
Okay.
she can talk to you.
All right. 790 minus 590, Maureen, is what?
is 200,000.
Yeah, 200,000 because 790 minus 590 is 200. So you have 200. 0, 0, 0. So what answer is that?
See?
C, that's the answer. You have to be careful when you're looking at tables, how it's defined, because that was in millions. So you got to convert the decimal to hundreds of thousands. So you get 200,000 as your difference. And so that would be answer C.
Um,
I don't want to leave it now. Any questions, Mercedes? You follow?
I'm not so clear. Or
Okay.
you?
Okay,
the subject.
let's go back again.
I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. I don't want to leave it unless you understand. Okay, now go back. Let's go back up here. Now you understand when it says in millions, to get it into hundreds of thousands, you have to multiply the decimal times a million. Is that point clear?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, so we multiplied the 0.59 times a million and we got 590,000. We multiplied the 0.79 times a million, we got 790,000. Now,
Okay.
790, even if you didn't, let's see. Say, even if you didn't have the zeros, right? And I say 790 minus 590. What's that equal to, Mercedes?
Oh, that would be 200.
That's right, 200. So if 790 minus 590 is 200, then 790,000 minus 590,000 is 200,000.
Oh, got you.
Got it?
You.
All right.
Okay.
So that's the answer. 200,000. And notice they do that a lot with problems. They'll give you a table and they will give you values in a number in units or millions or thousands, and they'll give you the value in a table that's not in that, but you have to convert it.
Oh,
Okay. See, if they had given you millions, but then that would have been kind of defeat the purpose. They want to make sure you convert your decimal into hundreds of thousands. So this 0.59 is saying 0.59 million, 0.58 million, 0.50 million, which would be 500,000. 0.79 million is 790,000. Got it?
yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, so you convert it using a decimal, multiplying it by the million, and then you can get the difference.
And you find pick the answer on the bottom. Okay.
Yes, and one of these answers, okay? Now, some people would have selected D because they said, oh, that's in million, but they didn't give you million here. They gave you a decimal that you had to convert to hundreds of thousands.
So
Okay.
for example, just for clarity, for example, Miss Barbara, if they said if they move million and put 1,000, I would take 1,000 and multiply to get my answer still.
If they gave you 1,000, then you'd have to multiply the decimal by 1,000.
1,000.
So that would be like 590, and that would be 790.
Yes, got it.
Got it?
Yes, thank you.
Maureen, you okay?
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's go to, now that was the first part, the rounding. Now let's go to our favorite topic, PEMDAS. Okay. And Jennifer, do you, well, she's working, so she can't. Jennifer, can you answer me? You know what PEMDAS stands for?
Say that again?
PEMDAS. Have you ever heard of that term?
No, I never heard of that.
Don't worry, you got some classmates who will explain it to you. Maureen,
All right.
explain PEMDAS.
What's stand up? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
No.
Well, that's not explaining it, Maureen. Tell her what the P and the E and the M and the D and the A and the S stands for.
Okay. Parentheses, exponents,
Oh, Kiki, you was right.
multiplication,
Kiki, how do you know
multiplication,
my work? You don't know your own.
division, add, and subtract.
Okay.
Okay.
Subtract.
So let me just okay. Just for you, Jennifer, let me put what Maureen said. Okay. So the P is what, Maureen?
Parentheses.
Parenthesis. So that means when you evaluate a problem, you do it in that order. You do your parenthesis first.
Yeah, the bracket.
All right. And then,
Then you do
well,
the
now there's a
exponent.
difference now. They'll say these in brackets and parentheses. If you have parentheses and brackets, you do the parentheses, then the brackets. Okay.
Okay.
We did something like that before. Exponents. Okay. And what was the M?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. And the D,
Division.
division. Now these are really on the same level. You do them from left to right, okay? So if your division comes before your multiplication, you do the division and then you do the multiplication. Then the A is what, Maureen?
Addition.
Addition. And the
S is
S,
subtraction.
subtraction. So that's what they stand for, Jennifer. That's the order you do them. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Addition and subtraction, you also do from left to right. All right.
All right.
Now Maureen also gave you another little way of remembering it. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And notice you still have P, E, M, D, A, S. All right, Jennifer, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so
If I don't know, I just ask my daughter. Because now all of a sudden she's smart all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, well they do this in the early grades actually, PEMDAS.
Yeah, I know. She just told me she did it at 6.
Yeah, and yeah, and all it is order of operation. So this is order of operation.
Kiki, go down. Hold on.
Order of operation. Now, let's do number 1. Did you do that one, Mercedes?
Number 1, I tried to.
Let me make it bigger here. Make it bolder and bigger. Okay, what did you get for your answer?
I think I reached halfway and stopped because I was doubtful.
Well, let me ask you, Mercedes, what do you do first?
I do the one in the bracket first.
Yeah, the parentheses. Now
Yes.
use parentheses now because brackets and parentheses are different,
It's
right?
different. Yeah.
Okay, parentheses.
Okay, in other words, let's see. Let's see if I had a bracket here on the phone. I mean, on my computer. Let's see. Okay. Okay. That's a bracket.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, that's not the bracket. That's a brace. That's a bracket.
Oh, I'm mixing up that with.
That's a bracket. All right.
Okay.
That's
So,
a parenthesis.
oh, got you.
Okay. So the
So-
bracket, I put them there so you see. Okay. So the bracket is like a line and then 2 little lines at the top and
Right.
bottom. And the
Okay.
parenthesis is the little curve.
Wrong. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's the difference. So brackets, I put these here, brackets and parentheses. And what I put up there first is called a brace.
Okay.
And generally we don't use those, but that's a brace. Okay, so you're gonna do your parentheses first. So what do you
Yes.
do first then, Mercedes?
I subtract 3 from 6.
Okay, so parentheses first, which would be 6 minus 3 equal what?
3.
Equal 3. Now what we're left with, okay, 6,
Exponent.
okay, that's equal to 3.
3.
All right, now let's just take this and put our 3 in there because we've done our parentheses. 6 minus 3 is 3.
3.
Okay, so let's just copy that over. And this will be 3 to the 3rd power divided by 3, because 6 minus 3 was 3.
Mhm.
All right, then what did you do next, Mercedes?
I do the exponent.
Okay, then you did the exponent. Okay, exponent is nothing but a power.
Yes.
Okay, exponent. And 3 to the 3rd is what?
I multiply 3 by 3 by 3.
That's right, it's 3 by itself 3 times. Okay, so the exponent 3 to the 3rd, just copy it here. And what's that equal to, Mercedes?
27.
27. Okay. Okay, so 3 to the 3rd power, and that's 3 times 3 times 3 equal 27. So now you've done the parentheses, you've done the exponent, and what you're left with is 27,
Mhm.
right?
Divide.
Divided by, let's just put our division sign here. And that's divided by our 3, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what's that equal to, Mercedes?
9.
That's it. That's equal to 9. That's your answer.
Yes.
Maureen, did you get that?
Yeah.
Answer 9. Okay. Any questions?
No, miss.
No.
Okay. Let's go to number 2. And this is number 2. Okay. 7 times in paren 4 plus 1 minus 7 times 2. So you've got parentheses and you've got what? Multiplication and you've got subtraction.
That's it.
Which one do you do first? Let me bring this over.
The parentheses.
Parentheses, okay. So what answer did you get, Maureen? What answer did you get?
Okay, when I first did it, I get, okay.
What answer did you get?
Okay, let me tell you one.
Mercedes, you have an answer?
I could just guess the answer.
Yeah.
What? You said A. What did you get, Mercedes?
I would say D by trying.
How did you get D, Mercedes?
I'd have to work it out to show you.
No, just tell me. What did you do first?
I do parentheses first.
Okay, so you do parentheses.
Which is
Yeah.
And that's
4
correct.
plus is 5.
And that's the 4 plus 1, right?
Yeah.
5.
And that's equal to 5.
5.
Okay, then what did you do next?
There's no exponents. You move on to multiplication and you're
So-
going to multiply
7 times
7.
what?
5.
5.
Times 5, right?
35.
Minus 7 times 2.
Hmm.
So you have 2 multiplications and a subtraction.
Yes.
So what did you do?
You say
Mercedes?
7 times 5 is 35.
That's right. 7 times 5 is 35. You do the multiplication. Okay, so that's 35. You have another multiplication.
Which
7
is
times
7
2.
times 2, which is
2.
14.
That's 14. And
Yeah.
35 minus 14 is what?
That is 21.
So how did you get 24?
Arrow, guess there.
That's why I wanted you to go through it. I was just saying, how
Because-
did you get
Because
24?
I am doing it and I reach halfway and stop and get doubtful.
No, but you did it. You see how you did it? Perfect.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what Maureen had, 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So all of that is order of operation. I think, did we have one more? Let's see, that was number 2. Okay, we have one more. Number three.
Barbara, I think Chastity is on now, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
so we have one more order of operation, one more PEMDAS.
Mhm.
Number 3, 9 plus 6 divided by 8 minus 2.
Parenthesis first.
Parenthesis first. So let me bring that up. I think we can just do that. all
That's
right here.
2 for 8 is 6.
So give me an answer. What's the answer?
I remember seeing that one.
What's the
I don't know.
answer?
6.
That was number 3. What's the answer,
Minus-
Mercedes?
6 is 15.
Just a minute. Let me give you the answer because I lost my answer sheets. I did this one too. Let me just get the answer for you.
What is the answer? Someone giving me the answer?
2.50.
2.50?
I
got 9.
Oh no.
I haven't heard the answer.
9, Miss Barbara.
How do you get 9, Maureen?
Because
6.
Okay, you did the parenthesis, right?
Yes.
yeah,
Parenthesis, let me just put it
it
here.
is 6.
And 8 minus 2. Okay, I'll just put it right here. Equal 6.
Let me change this.
All right. And then what do you do next?
Addition.
You've got a division there.
Division.
Oh Lord, I skip and go there.
Oh, what
that's
did
where I
you
can get it.
do, Mercedes? You got a
That's
division.
what I've been doing. I've been doing it over. I said, no, where I get 15 from? I keep doing it over and over. So
No, see, okay, let's put, okay, you did the parentheses, so there's a 6.
yeah.
But notice that's a 6 divided by 6.
Oh,
So
so I
you're
should
gonna
go.
do, so your second step is division.
Okay, that's a mistake I made. I'll get it right.
So this would be division.
Okay.
And 6 divided by 6, and I'll
Is
just
1.
6,
Is just
and I'll do
1.
the slash for the 6, and that's equal to 1. And
1.
Maureen, how is 9 plus 1 equal 9?
The answer is 10.
10.
No, Maureen told me 9.
Yeah.
9
You know
plus 1 equal 10.
You know what, Miss? I
Right?
think I did it 2 times and get the first answer 2.50, and I go, can I get 10? But I couldn't figure what's wrong.
But you just follow your PEMDAS, right?
Yeah,
Parenthesis, division, addition.
so same way with the what do you call it again?
This is 3.
The plus and
Addition.
the signs.
Right. So those are your steps. You did the parenthesis, you did the division, and then you did the addition, and you got an answer of 10. Questions? Questions on order of operations?
No.
I got it, but it does make an error right there. I forgot that I should.
What did you do, Mercedes?
What I do was had the 6 and the 9 and get 15, and then I couldn't.
Oh,
I
you did.
I
You
did
made up
2
your
ways.
own rules.
Yeah, I did it 2 ways. I get 10 first. I said I'm not sure, and I did the other one. I get 2.50. I says, oh Lord, I have to leave it.
Oh, you made up your own rules.
So
You
I made a
added
mistake.
and you were supposed to divide, because the
Yes,
order is the
yes,
division
yes.
multiplication before the addition subtraction, right? Okay.
So with this sign, you do the same PEMDAS.
I'm sorry.
With the signs and doing it, just do the same PEMDAS.
Yeah, it doesn't matter about the signs. You just got to follow your operations of signs, you know, in terms of adding and subtracting like and unlike signs, but your PEMDAS stays the same. I mean, this order will not change. So now notice, now I said multiplication, division, these you do from left to right. Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So sometimes the division will come before the multiplication, but you just go ahead and do it because you're doing it in order from left to right.
Oh.
Okay, let me just put that here. Do multiplication and division in left to right order. Now, what this means is, even though PEMDAS puts multiplication before division, but if you have a problem and division comes first, before, you just do it from left to right. Okay. Yes.
You see from left to right, but when you get at 1 right there, you get 9 plus 6 divided by 6.
Well, this one didn't have multiplication division. Well, let's just take one here. Okay, let me just take a problem to illustrate what I'm talking about. Okay, suppose we had, let's see, 9. I want to do a division. Okay. Divided by 3 plus 8 times 2. Okay, now notice the division is coming before the multiplication, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we have PEMDAS, multiplication, division, but you don't have to do this multiplication first. You could just go ahead and do this division. 9
Oh,
divided by 3, and you get what? 3,
yes.
and then plus 8 times 2 is 16, and then you add and get 19. That's what I meant by left to right. So if you have
Okay.
division, multiplication, you don't have to say, okay, I have to do this first. You don't have to. You could just go ahead and do the division,
Let's go
then
back
the
to number 3.
multiplication.
Let's look back at number 3. So what I did was when I got the 6, I go back and had 9 plus 6, the other 6.
Okay, so we back over to number 3. So
Yes,
you had
yes.
9 plus 6 divided by
Yes.
8 minus 2. So you did the parentheses, 8 minus 2, and you got 6, right?
Then I go back feeling that I should do the other side on their own. So I go back and say 9 plus 6 now, get 15. And then I'm going to divide the 6 by 15.
But notice now,
15 by
okay,
6.
okay, let's just take here. Okay. Now, say you've done the parentheses, right? I'm going to just
Yes.
copy this. Okay. You've done the parentheses, and you've got, take that out. You got 9 plus 6 and divided by 8 minus 2, which is 6. So we've got 6. So this is what you're looking at right here.
Yes.
9 plus 6 divided by 6. Now, according to PEMDAS, Mercedes, what do you do first?
According to PEMDAS, I would have to do division.
Right, you have to do
Division first.
division. That's right.
Yeah.
So the 6 divided by 6 is 1. So you're going to
Okay.
do this first, right?
Yes.
So let me just put that over here.
It-
6 divided by 6 is equal to 1. So you're going to do this first because that's what the order of operation says.
And it is okay.
Okay, now you'll have 9 plus what
Plus
you got
1.
from your division is 1, and then that's equal to 10.
10.
Got it?
Yeah, but I understand it very good now, fully. I understand it fully, but I made the error of
You made the
going,
error of
going the
doing
other
the
way around.
addition first. You added
Yes,
the 9 plus the 6, and you got
Yeah.
15, and 15 divided by 6 does not give you a whole number. You had a decimal or you had a mixed number. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Got it?
Yes, got it.
Okay. Now, the next thing we were supposed to do, what was the next thing? Okay, we're going to look at factors. Factors and multiples. Okay, so let's look at factors and multiples. What is the difference? And then you must understand these in order for us to do least common multiple and greatest common factor. You've heard of those, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, let's go to new shear. And let's go to factors. Okay. Do you see factors and multiples?
Yes, miss.
LCM,
M and GCF.
GCF, least common multiple. Least means less. Greater common factor means larger. Factoring, commutative, and distributive properties. Now, let's first look at factors and multiples. Now, they both really involve multiplication. Factors, when you multiply to get a number. All right, let's just, let me just do this. Okay. If you had the number 42. Now the factors would be what you would get when you multiply two numbers. So to get 42, what two numbers can you multiply to get 42, Maureen?
6 and 7.
Okay, so 6, you say 6, and I'll just say times 7. So those are factors. So 6 and 7, then we say 6 and 7 or factors of 42. But those are not the only factors. Mercedes, what are some other factors of 42?
You could say, if it's addition, you could say 21 by 21, but you want multiplication.
No, we're not adding. Remember I said we're talking
That's
multiplication. They both,
okay.
factors and multiples both involve multiplication. So give me two numbers you can multiply and get 42 other than 6 and 7.
Can it be 8? 8 times 5? No, wrong.
That's 40.
Yes. I'm bad with my multiplication. I'm sorry.
Two numbers you can multiply and get 42. Maureen gave me 6 and 7. Give me two more. We'll take half of 42. What do you get?
21.
So what are the two numbers then?
21 and 2.
That's it. 2 times 21. And that's equal to 42. So we would say 2 and 21 or factors.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Now, when you're doing factors and you're trying to figure out all your factors, you first put the 1, and then you put the first factor, which is a 1, because they all are divisible by 1, right? And the
Yeah.
last factor is the number itself. So what you will have is, say, if you want to list all factors, you put 1, and then I'll just put and 42. Now, in between, you want to put the other factors. So 6 and 7 would be a factor. 2 and 21 would be a factor. So, but you can list the first two factors. Well, actually, not the first two. It's the first and the last. And then you put the ones in between. And you've got 6 and 7. You got 2 and 21. Any other factors of 42? There's some others. Any others?
My thinking cap is
Maureen,
up.
can you think of another factor? You've got 6, you got 7, you've got 2, you got 21, you got 1, you got 42. Any other factors?
You got 3.
3 and what?
6 is.
Yeah, 3 and what?
All right, wait, I can tell you now. 3 and 14.
Okay, 3 and 14. 42 equal 3 times 14. So 3 and 14 or factors. All right, so you've got 1, the first factor. Now in between, look at the ones we found so far. We found what? 1, we found 3, we found 6, 7, 14, 21, 42. So when you're looking for your factors, and once you get say like here, the first one 1 and the last one 42. And once you get the 6, the 7, you can find other factors. And the key to that is if 6 and 7 are factors, 6 also has factors. What are the factors of 6? Mercedes?
2 times 3.
That's right, 3 times 2. So that gives you a hint there. Maybe 3 is one of my factors. So you take the 3 and divide it into 42 and you get the 14. That Maureen came up with the 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's a nice way to find out.
That's a nice way to find out. Right.
Yeah.
And like the same with the 21. 21 has factors 7 and 3. You got the 3 again. So that 3 could divide into 42. So it has divided into the number without a remainder.
Yes.
So those are factors. Now, some of them you probably know, some of them you may have to figure out, but there's a couple of ways of figuring out the factors. One is doing a list like we're doing now. The other way is using what we call prime factorization, and we'll look at that later. But
what can go into whatever number can go into 42 without leaving a remainder?
That's
and the
right.
Answer, and the answer would be the next number would be the factors.
Yeah, the two numbers that multiply to give you the number, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Let's do another one. Let's see. I want to do another one. I want you to find the factor. Okay. Factor of 100. What are the factors of 100? Anybody want to give me some factors? What two numbers can multiply to give you 100?
Excuse me, I gotta get ready to get off my phone. My phone is going dead, and I'm still outside traveling. So I need
Okay,
to,
Jennifer, remember I
thank
told
you.
you we're recording it, so it'll be on
All right.
YouTube today, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thanks for
Please
joining,
send
Jennifer.
me the information. Not a problem. Thank you so much for your
And
time.
I'll email you the session, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, 100. What are some factors? Maureen, give me two factors. Two numbers you can multiply to get 100.
2 and 50.
Okay, okay, 2 times 50. So those are factors. 2 and 50 are factors. Now notice if Maureen gave me 2 and 50, now the factors of 2 are only 2 and 1, right?
Yeah.
But 50 has some factors. What are some factors of 50, Mercedes?
You could say 2 times just a minute, 2.
What are two numbers you can multiply and get 50?
25.
That's right. 25 and what?
2 times 25 for 50.
Right. So then 25 can be a factor of 100. So what can I multiply by 25 to get 100?
That's
What two numbers, or what number can I multiply by 25 and get 100?
I can multiply 25 by 4.
That's right. 4 quarters of a dollar. Think about dollars. Okay. 4 times 25 equal 100. Okay.
You can also do 10 by 10.
That's right. I can do 10 by 10. 100 equals 10 by 10. But notice now, if I had 25, 25 has factors. What are some factors of 25?
2, 5.
2 5s, right? So that means 5 times some number gives me 100. What is that number?
Did you say 5 times?
5 times what number gives me 100? 5
Five.
times.
Times
5 times what
20.
number gives 100?
20.
20. That's right. And we got a 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And we said 4 times 25 is 100. So notice all the factors we've come up with, right? Now we have 1 is the first one, and then we have 100. So if you list all the factors, which ones we came up with? 2. So in between, let's go back up here. Okay. So we have 1. And what's another one we came up with? 2, 4, 5. What else?
10.
10. 10. What else? 20. What else? 25.
Yeah,
What else?
50.
50. And we said we started with 1 and we went up to 100. So look, all of the ones in between, all those
Yes.
are factors
100.
of 100. So you see how you can develop your factors. Put a 1 and put a number represents the number you find the factors of, and then find all the ones in between. And as you do them, you'll see, well, I'm getting numbers that have factors. 10 has a 5 and a 2. So I know 5 is a factor and is a 2, right? 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 2 is 50. You got it?
Yeah.
So you know how to find factors. So
Yes.
if you're given some examples to find factors, you could find factors. Now let's look at multiples. Now factors, we said 2 numbers multiply to give you the number we're trying to factor. Now multiples is also multiplication, but we multiply from 0 through some numbers by our number, and we get the multiples. So multiples come from multiplying your number that you're trying to factor by numbers, start with 0. So if I say, what are my multiples of 6? I take my number 6, 0 times 6 is 0. That's a multiple. I take 1 times 6, I get a 6, that's a multiple. 2 times 6 is 12, that's a multiple. 3 times 6 is 18, 18 is a multiple. And then I could keep going. 4 times 6 is 18, 5 times 6, 30, 6 times 6, 36. Those are all multiples. Now you know the difference now. If it's a factor, you're taking the number that you're factoring, find 2 numbers that multiply to give you the number. If it's multiples, you multiply numbers from 0 until by the number, and that gives you the multiple. Questions on multiples?
No.
Okay. Now, I want you to do this one. What are some factors of 12? Do that one and give me your answers.
2, 3,
Whoa.
2, 3, 4, 6.
You said 2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
6.
6. Maureen, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
Let me see. 2, 3, 4,
12,
6.
12, sorry, 12.
Remember, I told you to start with 1 and go to 12. In other words, 1 and then go to the number itself that you're factoring. So, and then you put in between. So you'd have 1 and 12. And then Mercedes, you had 2, 3, 4, 6. Because each of these numbers multiply by another number to give you 12. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. All right. So
Yes.
some of the factors are 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now, if I ask you, before, okay, well, while I'm here, let's just do multiples. Okay, what are some multiples of 12? Since we just went through multiples, what are some multiples of 12? Because I want you to understand this, so when we get the least common multiples and greatest common divisor, we can then use what we learned here to find them. Now, multiples, remember I say you take the number and you multiply it by 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So what are some multiples of 12, Maureen?
Okay.
You're just going to take the 12, multiply it by 0. What do you get? 12 times 0 is what? Not divide now, it's all multiplication. What's 12 times 0?
5.
No, any number times 0 is 0. Remember the 0 rule?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
12 times 0 is 0. What's 12 times 1?
12.
12 times 2?
12.
12 times
2,
2?
24.
24. Right. 12 times 3?
36.
36. 12 times 4?
48.
48. 12 times 5?
60.
60. 12 times 6?
72.
72. Now notice you adding what? 12 each time. So you don't even have to multiply, right? 12 plus 12 is 24. 24 plus 12 is 36. 36 plus 12 is 48. 48 and 12 is 60. 60 and 12 is 72. 72 and 12 is 84. Okay, so those are some multiples of 12. So you see the difference, right? 12, you get numbers that multiply to give you the number. Multiples are number you multiply by the number to get the number. So 0 times 12 is 0. 1 times 12 is 12. 6 times 12 is 72. Questions? So you know the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are all the factors of 20? I want you to do that one. Give you a couple of minutes and you tell me what you get. What are all the factors of the number 20?
4 and 5.
Now you're forgetting, Maureen. What did I say when you have factors? You got to put a 1.
1, yeah.
Okay. And then you put the number itself.
1 and 20.
Okay. Let's see. Bring this up. This is okay. So you put 1 and 20. Just put it here. Okay. 1 and 20 and put everything in between. Okay. Now, what are the factors of 20 that you would put in between?
2.
Okay, so you got 2. What else? This is not giving me
4.
okay, 2. 2, 4.
5.
It's changing the font on me. Just a minute. I'm going to make this bigger. Okay. Okay. So you got 2, 4. What's another one?
5.
5, you said. Okay. Anything else?
10,
10. Any
20.
other? Okay. So we've got the 1 and the 20 up here. We're putting in between.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So between the 1 and the 20, you put 2,
2,
4,
4.
5, 10. Are there any other factors, Mercedes?
I would just say 0.
0 not a factor. 0 times any number is going to be 0. Remember, you have to multiply the two numbers and get the 20.
Yeah. But I'm saying
0
that
is a multiple, but it's not a
No.
factor.
what I meant is that there's no more when I say 0.
Oh,
In
you
this
mean,
case,
okay, you're saying all the
there's no more.
factors are
Right
1,
here.
2, 4, 5, 10, 20. Do you agree, Maureen? Maureen,
I think 20.
we have 20.
Yeah.
1. Okay,
2.
let me just do them like this. Okay.
Okay, this ready.
Okay. Okay. So we put the 1. All right. 2, 4, 5, 10, 20.
Remove a 9.
Oh, 4, 5. I'm sorry, 10. Thank you.
20.
Okay. So those are the factors.
Yeah.
So the factors are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10,
10
and 20. All right. So now you know how to find factors. Now, Maureen, give me the multiples.
Multiples.
Multiples of 20.
Okay.
0 and 20. Right?
multiples. Multiples of 20. What are they?
0,
0,
1.
Now, remember the multiples of the 20 are what you're multiplying this by. So the multiples would be what? 0, and then 1 times the number. So what would the next one be?
1.
No. What's 1 times 20?
1 times 20 is 20.
20. 2 times 20.
Is 40.
Okay, then just go down the line. What's the next one?
Yeah. 80.
No, the next one. 60.
Oh, 60.
60,
80.
80. Okay.
100.
100. And then you just,
120.
I just,
That's right.
and oh yeah, you have more. No, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. That would be 120, then 7, etc. So I'll just put, and then you could put others because we're not putting them all.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions now on factors of multiples?
Oh.
Just need to practice, remember.
Yeah, so okay, so just remember, like I put it here, remember put the first factor as 1, the last factor as the integer you're factoring. Now you can also have negative integers, and but we're not going to deal with negative. We'll just stay with the positive ones, okay? All right, what are factors of 55? Somebody want to tell me?
5,
5, 25.
5, 11.
Uh-oh.
What are the factors of 55?
0, 1.
No 0.
1.
1. What else?
5.
5. What else?
11.
11. and what? 55.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So factors of 55, because notice, what did you notice about 5 and 11? They both prime numbers, and prime numbers only factor into themselves and 1, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So 5 and 11 are prime numbers. Prime numbers, remember that's the rule. They only factor into themselves and 1. All right, now we're going to go to greatest common factor and least common multiple. Now we know how to find the factors, and since we know how to find them, so if we given two numbers and we say, what's the greatest common factor? You find all the factors of the two numbers and then pick out the one that's the largest that matches. Okay, so I have an example for you. Factors of 12 and 30. And you want to find the greatest common factor. Okay. Make that a little bigger. Okay. So you find the factors of 12.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12, right? There's our 1 and there's our 12 and there's the in between. Factors of 30. There's our 1, there's our 30, and in between 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, 30. Now, which factors do they have in common, these two numbers, 12 and 30?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 6.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 6. And this is using a list way of finding it, right? So we listed the factors for the two numbers, right? And then we say, okay, what do they have in common? In other words, what matches in these two lists? 1, 2, 3, and 6. So the common factors in both lists are 1, 2, 3, and 6. Now, which of these is the highest?
6.
6. The highest is the biggest. So the highest of these numbers is 6. So the greatest common factor of these two numbers is 6. Now, some examples of greatest common factor use more than 2, but we're going to stay with 2 numbers. Okay, some have 3 and some even have 4, but we will have just 2 numbers we're comparing. So list the factors of each of the numbers, then find which ones they have in common, and then pick out the biggest one. That's the way you do it.
Okay, great.
You got it, Mercedes?
Yes. Yes, I do.
We've been going through the factors, so you list them. All right. Then you say, okay, what is the same in both of these lists? 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. What is the biggest of those? 6. So your highest of these numbers, 6. Greatest common factor, GCF, equals 6. Right. Now let's take the next one. 24 and a 108. Same thing. Notice we put the 1, put the 24 in between. 1, 108 in between. Now, notice for 108, if you take 108 and divide it by 2, what do you get?
54.
54. But 54 also factors into what, Maureen?
Let's see, 54.
What are some factors of 54?
6 and 9.
Right, 6 and 9. Notice, see the factors there? What are some other factors of 54?
Okay.
6 and 9. Okay.
And 18.
7.
Yeah, because 6 and 9 has a factor 3, 6 has 2 and 3. Okay. And 9 times 2 is 18. 18 divides into 54. Okay, so these are the factors of 108. Now, what's common about this list? You see a 1, a 2, a 3. What else?
6.
And no,
6.
and a 6. And what else? And a 12.
Yes.
So what is common? 1, 2, 3, 6, and 12. What is bigger?
12.
12. That's the
12.
greatest common factor. Got it?
Yeah.
So first, this is using the list method. Find the factors and then compare the list and pick out the ones that are in common and then pick out the bigger of the ones that are the common factors. Now, the least common multiple, now that means something is smaller. So if you have least common multiples, you find the multiples. Remember, that's when we multiplied, right? We multiplied 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. by the number. So multiples of, we want to find the least common multiple of 3 and 5. So 3, we have what? 3 times 0 is 0. So we just start with 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. Then when we get to 5, 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, the least common multiple, what do you see alike in these two?
15.
15, and that's the smallest. So if we went out further, they're going to be bigger. So 15 is the least common multiple of 3 and 5. Questions? Okay, I want you to do this next one. Find the least common multiple of 4 and 10. I'll give you a chance to do that one. Find the least common multiple of 4 and 10. So get the multiples of 4, the multiples of 10, and then get the least common multiple.
4.
I'll give you a few minutes to do that one. Four and 10. This is your multiples of 4 and your multiples of 10.
Okay. This is 4. 2.
Anybody got the least common multiple?
2.
No, these not factors now. We're talking multiples. That's when you multiply.
I got 1 and 2 for 4, right?
1, 2, and 4.
When you list the multiples of 4, what do you get?
1, 4 is 4, and 2 2 is 4.
Okay, let me do this.
And 4 1's 4.
Okay, now let me just put here the multiples of 4 are, what are the multiples of 4?
2. Sorry, 1.
No.
2.
0.
No, you multiplying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by the 4. So what's the
Yes.
first multiple? What's 4 times 1?
1.
4.
No, 4 times 1?
4.
4.
Yeah.
4 times 2?
8.
8.
Oh, then I misunderstood then.
Remember, I say you multiply the number you're trying to find the multiple of, you multiply it by 1, then you multiply by 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, etc. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. What's 4 times 3?
12,
12. Okay. 4 times 4,
16,
16. 4 times 5,
20,
20. 4 times 6,
24.
24. Now let's go to the 10.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the 10. Multiples of 10. What are
10 was
multiples?
the
What?
same.
Okay. So what are the multiples of 10, Maureen? I'm going to put 10. What are the
10
multiples of?
was, 10 was the same.
Okay, very good. That's 10. Let me copy them here. 10. What's the next one?
20,
20,
30,
30.
40.
Okay, 40. You can stop here
60.
actually, because you can see what is the LCM.
LCM is
20.
It's
20.
equal to 20. That's right. It's equal to
Yes.
20. Okay.
Mm.
Because there's a 30 and comma.
I was mixing up the multiple with the
Yeah, the multiple, Mercedes, just remember you multiply by 1, then by 2, then by 3, the number that you're given. So this is multiple, whereas with factoring, you're finding two numbers that multiply to give you back the number. With the multiples, you taking the number that you're trying to find the multiple of and multiplying it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
they pick out the but a common
And then
or
you
great.
pick the least, well, there may be more
Depends on
than
what
one in comma, but you put the smallest, and the smallest here is 20.
And
Actually,
if it's the greatest, it should be in this case same 20.
well, greatest would be factor, not multiples. We use least common for multiples, so we use greatest common for factors. So there's a difference. You follow the difference? We go back to the up here.
Yeah.
We listed the factors, right? And then we
Yes.
say, what factors are common? So we found what they were, and then we say, what's the greatest of those common ones? It was a 12. That's factors, right? But when you're talking least, you're talking multiples. So you find your multiples, and then you try to find the one that is the smallest.
Yes.
And there's the answer right there. Least common multiple is 20, but I wanted you to work it out. Is the question?
Will you be sending all of these info for reference so we can review?
Oh, you'll get all of this, everything we're going through.
Okay. I know I'll send you my package of support when I'm ready.
Okay. Now, we've been doing this, and when we list out everything, we call that the listing method. When we list the factors out, that's called the listing methods. Okay.
And then make sure.
Yeah, that's the listing method of finding the greatest common factor.
Yeah.
All right.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And now, okay. Now let's look at prime factorization. That's another way of finding the greatest common factor or the least common multiple. Now, how do we define a prime number again? Someone want to tell me? What's a prime number?
1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15.
Yeah, numbers that can only be multiplied by themselves in 1, right?
Yeah.
So another way of finding least common multiple greatest common factor is using primes, what we call prime factorization. That's taking the number and factor it into prime numbers. So 12, if we factor it into prime numbers, we when we found factors, we said what, 4 times 3, 6 times 2, but 6 and 4 are not prime numbers. But if you take the 4 and factor it into 2 times 2, 12 can be 2 times 2 times 3, right? 18, you could say 9 times 2, but 9 is 3 times 3. So 2 times 3 times 3. So you want to factor it into prime numbers. And when you factor them into prime numbers, then you take the numbers that are common, and that's 2 and the 3. And so the greatest common factor will be the product of the numbers that are common. 2 times 3 is 6. That's using the prime factorization. So remember, this is a special kind of factoring because you want only prime numbers to be equal to, when multiplied, to your number that you're factoring. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's take let's see, I think I have another one here. Okay, let me bring this over to the next page. Okay. Find the least common multiple of 20 and 24 using prime factorization. So you're going to factor 20. You're not going to say 4 times 5 because 4 is not prime, right? But 4 is 2 times 2. That's prime. 24, we could say 6 times 4, but we don't want the 6 because that's not prime. So we say 6 is 2 times 2, or 2 times 3, right? So 24 in the prime numbers is 2 times 2 times 3, which is 4 times 2 is 8 times 3 is 24. So the product of 20 and 24 is what we got for the factorization for the 20 and for the 24. And it's given by this, but we have the 2 times 2 there twice, so we take it out and we're only left with 5 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So notice you take out the 2 times 2, and now you're left with 5 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. That gives you 120. You follow? So that's the prime factorization. And I have another example here. And take out your duplicate. And you have the least common multiple of 20 and 12 is 60. So the key is factoring into prime numbers and then taking out any duplicates, multiply, and that gives you the least common multiple. So I think you can follow these examples. And the last thing we want to do, we're about finished. Distributive property. You've done this, but you probably didn't call it distributive. And all distributive is you taking a multiplication, and distributive only works for multiplication and addition. So if you have parenthesis 2 times, well, you have an expression, this parenthesis times 2, and you're saying, well, multiplication, this number is multiplied by everything within the parenthesis. So 2 times 3 plus 4 is 2 times 3 plus 2 times 4. Questions on that? You probably didn't call it distributive, but you've been doing it all the time, right?
With a different name, yeah.
Yeah. So if I
So then you
had
get 2 plus 3 is 2, and 2 3 is 6.
and 2
Plus
times 4 is 8,
is
and 8
8.
and 6 is 14. So 4 and 3 is 7, 2 times 7 is 14. So you can see it works, right? All right. Now, this also works if you have variables. Now, let me just take, if I had 5 times 2x plus 6x, what is that equal to if you use the distributive property?
Well, we say like 2 5 is 10. 5 2 is 10. 5 6 is 30.
So what would be the answer?
10.
No. You'd have 5
2 is 5
times
times
2x
uh,
plus 5 times 6x.
Oh,
And what is that equal to? Well, I didn't want to
uh,
use the x because
5
uh,
2 is 10.
let me use the asterisk for the multiplication because I don't
yeah.
want to use, because I'm using the x, I'll use the asterisk. Okay, so we can use asterisk for the multiplication. So what's 5 times 2x?
10x.
10x, very good, okay. And what's 5 times 6x?
30x.
30x, very good. And what is that equal to? Add the coefficients.
40x.
40x. So you've been doing this all the time. We just didn't have a name to it. It's called distributive.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
All right. Now, commutative property, and that you've been doing also. And all that's saying is that if you multiplying two variables or two numbers, you can switch them. In other words, 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2.
Yeah.
4 times x is the same as x times 4. Okay, so that means you moving things around and they're staying the same. Okay, and if you're adding, 4 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been doing it, you just didn't call it by
The name.
Well,
what we
this
are
one,
calling it.
so this factors are multiplying. You got to say for us for homework.
Yes, your homework is this. Okay,
1,
I
2,
have
3.
now, just to summarize this, here's the original 3a minus 5b plus 7a. Now you could put the 7a here and then the minus 5b. That's commutative. That's
That's
this one.
propagation.
Yeah, you just switching around the order. That's all that's doing. And the distributive, a times 3 plus 7 minus 5b, you could take that, see 3a and 7a, and you could put the a in front of the 3 plus 7 minus 5b. Got it?
No,
So these
I didn't get
oh, you didn't get this one?
No,
Okay,
I
okay.
got that little part
All
there.
right, let's take this here. Okay, let me go back, Lyra. Okay, let me take the original 3a plus 7a. Okay, and I want to put this over here. Okay. All right. Now 3a minus 5b plus 7a, but I can change the order, right? So I could say 3a plus 7a minus 5b.
That's what I was thinking. I want to make sure.
Yeah, that's right. And I could say 3, with the way they did it, they combined the a's.
Okay.
See, 3a plus 7a is really a times 3 plus 7. I can put the a outside because it's in common with both of those expressions, right?
Yes.
So I can put, okay. So this 3a plus 7a, I can write it as equal. I can factor out the a and then put 3 plus 7. Same thing, right? That's all that is. Because a times 3 is 3a and a times 7 is 7a. Got it?
So that's how you do the answer?
Well, the answer then would be that, and then I of course have to put in my 5b. So my answer would be this expression minus 5b. Okay, minus 5b. And that's the same as my original expression. Got
So that's the final answer?
Yeah, that's saying that's equal to, let me take my original. Okay, here's the original.
Mhm.
All that's saying, Mercedes, that's equal to this. Equal.
Okay.
Because of a commutative rule, I can put this in this format and it's the same as this one.
That's okay.
3a
So,
times a times 3 is 3a, right? A
Mhm.
times 7 is 7a, and that's a plus. Got it?
so my question is that's how they want you to put the answer when they give you that question with it in that format.
No, the way they give it to you, Mercedes, they'll give you the original and they'll give you choices and they'll say which one is equal to that one.
That's I know
Okay.
that part. I know that part. I just want to make sure that the answer that you give, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's like you're given an expression, then you
Yeah.
given 4 choices and say
Yeah, so
which of these is equal to that same expression. And by
I go-
knowing your distributive property, your commutative property, you can say which one is correct.
yeah, right. Yes. Okay.
Got it?
Got it. Yes.
Okay, so your homework practice, you're gonna have factors and multiples.
Mhm.
You're gonna have least common multiple and greatest common factor. And then you're gonna have distributive, and like here, I gave you one here, homework.
Mhm.
Which expression is the same as this expression? Okay,
Number 3.
number 3 of the distributive and commutative. So this
Okay.
will be the homework for next time,
Okay.
and do as many as you can and we'll go over it next time.
So
Mhm.
what I'm seeing on the screen now, all of that is homework.
Yeah, right here
Oh,
is homework
Oh.
practice.
1
And,
factors and multiples.
yeah, these are multiple choice. Which of the
Okay.
following are multiples of 6?
Okay.
Which of the following are multiples of 6?
And which is
Which
the
of the
following,
following numbers are multiples of 6? And
and
that
which is the
means,
following is not factors of 15.
yeah, which of these is not a factor of 15?
That is one of the homework.
That's the homework, right? And how many factors does 44 have? So once you do the factors of 44, how many did you get? Did you get 5, 4, 6, 8, or 7?
Okay, got you.
And which of these
So-
numbers are multiples of both 3 and 17? So you write the multiples for 3 and write the ones for 17. And what do they have in common? Pick the answer.
Mhm.
8 and 24, you write your factors. What are ones in common? Pick it out.
Mhm.
And do the same for and you do, what are the multiples of 9? Which one of these is not a multiple? Okay. What are the prime factors of 22?
Mhm.
What of the following numbers are multiples of 10?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions?
No.
And
So
then
we have
do the
4.
least common multiple, greatest common factor for each of these 3 problems. Put in the least common, not least common divisor
And
and the
great-
greatest common factor.
Yeah.
And then of course, distributive commutative, knowing what it is. This is, does this represent which one of these? It's gotta be,
I think that one.
since we didn't go over associative, so you know
That
it
one
can't be B or D. It's got to be A or C. Because I didn't go over these.
I don't think I could do this one.
Huh?
I don't think I could do
Which one?
this the one. Come back down again a little bit. Scroll down a little bit. Distributed.
Oh,
No.
this one?
Yeah, this one. 3.
4 times 5 is 5 times 4. Which one is that? You know that.
Oh. It's a long time I've done this.
Well, you go back,
You're
up.
waking my
Well,
rusty brain.
no, you go back up. And commutative is just you switching the order around, right?
Oh yeah, you
And,
sure.
right? You're switching the order around. So Isn't this one just switching the order around?
Oh,
4
yes.
times
It's
5 is 5 times 4.
okay.
Mm,
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting used to it
Changing the
now.
order. Got it?
Yes.
It's not distributive. You're not multiplying something by something within a parenthesis. You just switching the order.
Huh.
4 times 5 is
Commutative.
5 times 4.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's it. You got it. Commutative. Right there. Any questions on anything we went over?
The one you just talked about, this is a homework too, right?
Yes.
So it says name the property showed
By the
by the
following
following.
statement. So name the property showed by the following statement. 4 times 5 is 5 times 4.
Forward.
And I said it had to be the A or C because I didn't go over associative. We're not going to go through that one. And addition property of 0, we didn't really discuss that.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So it's only between
A and C.
commutative or distributive. So
Okay.
which one, Maureen?
I would
Maureen,
say C. I would say C.
distributive?
Mhm.
What would you say, Mercedes?
Commutative.
That's it. Distributive, Maureen, let's go back. Distributive is when you say, I'm going to distribute my multiplication distributed over addition. So multiplication of 2 times 3 plus 4 is distributed as 2 times 3 plus 2 times 4. Whereas commutative is just changing the order, moving things around. And that's what we were doing in that. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
That's the difference. So you think you can do the homework, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All
You gonna
right.
say
So
now, Miss?
yes, Mercedes. Question?
No, I just want to know if you're gonna send it now because I wanted to do it ahead before I go back to
Oh,
work.
yes. I'll be sending this right after we finish. I'll be sending this out and then I'll be uploading the recording on YouTube.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for joining. You did good today.
Thank
Okay.
you. Miss,
Okay. Well,
Miss-
remember, this is homework practice because the more you practice, the better you get.
So
Remember,
there was Vanessa today.
Vanessa had something else to do.
Uh,
Yeah, Miss Speckles told me she
I hope
was.
Michelle.
And I don't know about Michelle. She didn't hear from her. Maybe we should better call and see if she's okay.
They might see
Miss-
you might have Miss Barbara.
Maxine didn't come on with the college sheet. I hope she comes on Monday.
Okay.
I sent her the outline, and
uh,
I sent her a message that she could go to YouTube, look at the session. All right. You may want to give her a call again.
Yeah,
But, yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So long, everybody.
Miss, just want-
Chastity was on, but I don't know if she's on or not on. I know she
Right, still on. Let me see. Yeah, she's still on.
okay. Chastity,
I'm
you stayed on mute. I
here.
figured you didn't want to talk today.
Not really.
I didn't think so. That's okay. Did you understand what we went over?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
wonderful. Okay, well, I'll be sending you this session. And of course, I'm recording so you can look at YouTube and try some of the homework, all right? We'll go over it all. Don't just feel obligated that you have to do it all, but it's practice, and that's how we learn, by practice, okay?
yes.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Appreciate it.
Any
Mrs.
other
Bashir?
questions?
No.
Maureen, you okay?
Mrs. Barbara, can you give me a call today? It's important.
Okay, we'll do.
Please.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Miss Beckles.
Okay, no problem.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
So long,
Have a great
everybody.
weekend, everybody.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Barbara, so I will stay